Yo bro, this is Louis aka the Tinder God, and seeing that you're watching this video, you might be in a bit of a pickle. You might be texting with a girl and you thought it was going well, or maybe it was going well, but right now it's dying down and she hasn't texted back. Now before you make any drastic moves, beware, watch this video. I'm gonna give you the most common mistakes that guys make when they are in your situation that completely ruin their chances forever. So avoid the mistakes that I'm gonna show you in these videos, or you'll be stuck in your situation forever and might up getting blocked. Plus, I'm gonna give you 3 solutions for your current situation to inject new life in the conversation so you have another chance with this girl. Let's go! The worst thing you can ever text when a conversation is dying down is this. Just a bunch of question marks. When I was talking about conversations dying down and things you can do to bring new life into the conversation, some female friends told me that when a guy sends like just multiple question marks and that's it, just question marks, it's the biggest turn off ever, because sometimes they just forget to text back, but then you get these question marks, and if you think about it, question marks, it's not bringing anything to the table, it's not funny, it's not offering any sort of value or whatever that brings the conversation back. It's just asking. That's all it is. Answer! That's pretty much what you're saying. So even though sometimes they just forgot to reply and they were planning on still texting you, at this point when you send the question marks, there will be no reply. You done goofed. The second mistake guys tend to make is assumptions. Okay, you're texting back and forth with a girl and then all of a sudden there's no reply, or she replies slower than ever. Maybe she's still gonna reply, but guys start making assumptions and they're like, why is she not texting back? Oh, she probably doesn't like me. Or why is she not texting back? Oh, maybe she actually has a boyfriend and she's just not telling me. Or why is she not texting back? Oh, I probably did something wrong. And then they'll start analyzing the previous parts of the conversation and they'll start seeing mistakes in some of their texts that were actually no mistakes, and they just start overthinking. Woo! So much, but none of this is needed. Just calm down for a second, don't assume anything and wait it out. The third mistake guys make, maybe you've done this as well, is what I like to call kamikaze. So you're texting back and forth, all of a sudden there's no reply, so the last text was sent by you, and then the next text you'll send her will be something like, hey, do you want to go out tomorrow? This is a big mistake, because what you're doing here is escalating on a no. Now, escalating on a no, what does that mean? Well, eventually you always want to go to the next step in the conversation that eventually ends into a date, when she's sending a yes, when she's giving yes signals, not no signals. So a yes signal, what could that be? Well, that's for example when she's texting back really fast, when she's asking questions back, when she's asking you questions that indicates interest, because she's asking stuff from you, she wants to know a lot of stuff about you, or when she's laughing a lot. And with laughing a lot, I don't mean a simple ha ha, 2-syllable ha ha, but actually laughing at your jokes and you're shooting the shit back and forth. Now on the other side is the no. What is a no signal? Well, for example, when she takes a lot of time to text back, when she texts back with really short answers, this could even be the ha ha, or when she doesn't text back at all. So when you sent the last text and she didn't reply, and then you're gonna ask her out, hey, wanna go for a drink tomorrow evening, smiley face, then you're escalating on a no. So when you were the last to send a text and she didn't respond, and then you're gonna go kamikaze by saying, hey, wanna go on a date tomorrow evening, smiley face, you're actually escalating on a no. Don't do this, the chance of success is very small. Mistake number 4 is what I call the sad grandpa effect. Now, I have a friend and he can't really see his grandpa very often because they live far apart, but still the grandpa wants to stay involved in his life, so he decided to call his grandpa every week. So what happened, whenever in the weekend he calls his grandpa, the grandpa starts with like, oh, why don't you call me more often? You never call me, blah blah blah. And he instantly ruins the mood for the rest of the call. Result, my friend doesn't feel like calling him once a week and it all just goes downhill. And I see the same mistake being made in a lot of guys' texting conversations. The girl doesn't respond and the guy goes all sad grandpa on them, being like, hey, why aren't you texting back? Mistake number 5, the infamous double text. I already talked a little bit about this in mistake number 3, where the guy sent the last text, she doesn't respond, and then all of a sudden he asks the girl out. A double text is when you were the last person to send the text, generally a text that expect a reply, but you don't get the reply, so you just text again to try and get a reaction after all. Double text come across as very needy. Avoid these as much as possible. And one good little story I have for you that puts them a little bit in perspective is the following. I was texting with a girl. I was the last one to text and she didn't give a response. So I was a bit confused. I thought it was going well. Later I restarted the conversation, it went well again, we went out on a date, and then when we were out on a date, I brought up this little double texting scenario, and she was like, oh, I was so confused. I was like, why is he not texting me anymore? So to me this was really strange, because she was the one that stopped responding, yet in her mind, in her reality, I was the one who stopped texting back. So that's another reason why you shouldn't panic when you don't get a response as fast as you want. Wait it out, and if she doesn't text back, then use one of the techniques I'm gonna give you in just a minute. Mistakes number 6 is the ow, 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 why do poopy hurt? Okay, why do poopy hurt is a bit of a meme way of naming this, but I'm talking about butt hurt guys. Some men, when they don't get a response or they don't get it fast enough, they start panicking, they become really angry and butt hurt, and they'll text all sorts of lame stuff to the girl, kind of offensive stuff. For example, well, whatever then, or I'll just go date another girl, or I'm gonna admit something rather painful now, but me myself, I did this once back in the day, years ago, almost in another lifetime. I was still learning how to seduce women and stuff, and I had a massive crush on one girl, and I was going out one night. I couldn't figure out, I never felt like I knew where she was at, where I was at in her world, and blah blah blah. And I run into her while going out. She was flirting with some guys. She was always flirting with some guys. I managed to take her apart for a second. We were talking a bit. I thought things were going well again. We were making out, and then she left again to those other guys, and I felt like, okay, I have no control over her. I was butthurt. So what did I do? I was like, I'll have my revenge. I'll be the butthurt guy. So what did I do? Butthurt as I was, ow ow, poopy hurt. I went out on the street, went into the next bar, pulled the girl home, and when I was having sex with her, I made a short snap of the doggy style action and sent it to the girl that I actually liked, as like kind of my way of saying, well, whatever then, I'll just go with another girl. So whatever you do, don't get butthurt. Don't ever make this mistake. It's a massive turn off. And mistake number 7 is don't reward her bad behavior. This is a mistake I very commonly see with nice guys, the really pleasing type of guy. What they very often do when they don't get a text back is they'll just send her another text, a double text, along the lines of, hey, are you still alive? Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. And they'll keep on doing this, so whenever they don't get a text back, they'll just send another one, sending them happy vibes and attention and attention and attention. So basically they are rewarding her bad behavior. Don't do this. So these were the 7 most common mistakes I see guys making when they're not getting a text back. Now let's go over to the solutions. What should you do when the conversation is dying down? The first solution is a very juicy one that you can just steal, copy paste it, try it out. What happened is this. I have a feedback system in one of my online courses where my students can post questions regarding to their conversations, and I'll help them out, or my other coaches will help them out. So what happened is there was a guy, his conversation died down and he didn't know what to do. I gave him one sentence he could use, and this is what his girl, we'll just call her Sarah, replied. Whoa! That's my fault! Sorry, 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 sorry. That's a lot of sorries. Oh my god, so rude. I totally forgot to text you back. I'm so bad at Tinder, but really, I keep on forgetting. Hi, let's restart. How was your weekend? Of course, this is an insane reply. It won't always be this dramatic, but this line is actually really good, and now let's see what I told him to text. The line that I gave him is this. Hey Sarah, I feel like we're growing apart, my good old fop doodle. So why does this line work so well? There's a couple reasons. First of all, you're not making the 7 mistakes, you're not just doing question marks or butthurt statements, you're actually bringing something to the table. This is a funny text. Why is it funny? Well, first of all, I feel like we're growing apart. It makes no sense. You don't even know this girl, you're just texting a little bit. So she will know that you're not serious, you're not crying about it. And then secondly, you're calling her my good old fop doodle. Nobody uses these words. It's a funny way of addressing her. Again, it says in a joyful way, hey, let's resume this conversation. I was having a good time. If you paid attention in the 7 mistakes, it's almost always something needy or very serious. Now, what is the antidote for serious and needy? Well, it's fun, and that's exactly what this line is doing. It's just a fun way of restarting the conversation. Now, in one of my online courses, I'm also giving you a fill-in-the-blanks format that you can use, and oftentimes when you use this on Tinder, not only the conversation will be reborn again, she'll instantly give you her number. Now, this would be a little bit too good to just hand out to everyone, so if you're interested in these fill-in-the-blank formats, please check out the course. I will link it down below the video. The second solution to conversations that are dying down is my clickbait opener. Maybe you've heard of my clickbait opener before, maybe you haven't. It's the best way to start any Tinder conversation. I'll also put a link down below the video where you can access it in a video for free plus follow-up text. But the great thing about this clickbait opener is that some of my students emailed me like, hey, this actually works well to bring back dead conversations. So download it down below the video, try it for yourself. It works to open conversations and to revive conversations. And solution number 3 is a very effective GIF of a little puppy that makes its way down to every woman's heart. This is a GIF you can just find on Tinder if you write "go on without me," but for your convenience I extracted this GIF out of Tinder and made it downloadable in the article that's also linked down below the video. If you want to use this GIF, you can download it there. Plus there's also 3 examples where I'm using this GIF on dead conversations, and it shows the extreme results it gets to reel her back in, suck her back into the conversation and get her out on a date. Check out the rest of my tips in the article, download the picture for free, download the clickbait opener, also like my video if this helped you out somehow, and subscribe or I will personally call Zeus and make him strike you down with lightning.